All right, so now that we've taken a look at the standard form for the equation of the circle, we're going to look at the general form, which is basically if you took the standard form and you expanded the whole thing out. So you FOIL everything, you expand it, you combine your like terms, you would end up with the general form. Okay, and the general form isn't particularly informative. Looking at this, I don't know where the center is, I don't know where the radius is, I really don't know a whole lot of anything. So what we're going to do is whenever we have the equation of a circle in general form, our goal is to put it back in standard form. So in order to do that, we are going to use the concept of completing the square that we looked at a little bit earlier. Okay, now think about rearranging your equation a little bit. So right now, I want to go ahead and I want to group my x's together. So the x squared and the 2x, I'm going to group together. Okay. The y squared and the negative 6y, I'm going to group together. And then the 7 is my constant term. I'm going to go ahead and just move that to the other side to get it out of the way. Okay, so taking this equation again in general form, we want to put it in standard form so that we can actually find some relevant information from it. So to start with, just rearrange. X squared plus 2x plus y squared minus 6y equals negative 7. So group your x's, group your y's, move the constant to the other side. Okay. All right, so now what we want to do is we want to complete the square. But because we have two variables, we have both an x squared and a y squared, we'll need to complete the square for both variables. So we're thinking x squared plus 2x plus something will complete the square. And then plus y squared minus 6y plus something will complete the square. And then remember, whatever we add to the left, we have to add to the right as well to keep it balanced. Okay. All right, so to think about completing the square here. So remember, to complete the square, we take our b term, divide it by 2, and square it. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. 1 squared is 1. So I'm going to add a 1 to the x squared plus 2x to complete the square. And if we're adding a 1 to the left, we have to add a 1 to the right as well to keep our equation balanced. Okay. All right, so then with the y's, we have a negative 6 as our b term. So negative 6 divided by 2 is a negative 3. Negative 3 squared is a positive 9. So I'm going to add a 9 to both sides to complete the square on our y. All right, so then factoring and combining like terms on the right, we would come out with x plus 1 quantity squared plus y minus 3 quantity squared is equal to 3. Okay, so we took our equation in general form and we rewrote it in standard form. Okay. All right, so then like I said before, the whole purpose of doing this is that in standard form, we know a lot more about the equation of the circle. We can really easily find the center and the radius, which helps us to graph it, find x and y intercepts, whatever else we might want to do with it. So in this case, all we're looking for now is the center and the radius. Okay, so the center comes from the opposite of our factors. So we're going to have negative 1, positive 3 as our center. And then the radius is the square root of the constant term. So that's going to be square root of 3. So that is our answer. Okay. All right. Let me try example 6. Okay. All right, so same as the last one. We want to group our x's, group our y's, and move any constant terms over to the other side. So on this one, we only have the 1x squared term. We have the y squared and the 6y that we're going to group together. And then our 2 is our constant that we're going to move to the other side. So x squared plus y squared plus 6y equals negative 2. So start by just rearranging it. Okay. All right, so since the x squared is all by itself, it doesn't have any other x's with it. That means that we don't have to do anything to it to complete the square, so it's done. Our y's, though, on the other hand, we will need to add something to complete the square. And of course, whatever we add to the left, we have to add to the right as well to keep our equation balanced. Okay. All right, so with our y's, we have a 6 as our b term. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 squared is 9. I'm going to add a 9 to both sides of the equation. Okay, remember to keep it balanced by adding that 9 to the right as well. And that'll complete the square on our y's. Okay, so factoring and combining like terms, we're going to have x squared plus y plus 3 quantity squared is equal to 7. All right, so then from our factors, we can see that the center is going to be at 0, -3. Since there's nothing with the x and the x squared, that means it's at 0. So 0, -3 is the center. And then the radius is the square root of our constant term. So that'll be the square root of 7. Okay. All right, guys, so I'm going to leave example 7 for you to try on your own, but the solutions will be posted online. Okay, so that is it for circles.